Hey guys, it's your favorite Tomboy here again, bringing you another topic. Um, this week's topic will be called The Dark Place. I think we've all been in the dark place at least one time in our life. This is solely my thoughts, my opinions, done my way once again. So please like, share, leave a comment. If you're on YouTube, subscribe, and let's help one another help another, okay? So once again, we've all been in a dark place before. I myself can say that I've been in a dark place, and like I mentioned in my last video, I've been through some things, some hard lessons, some hard times, and had a few hiccups. And we know the dark place ain't no joke, okay? Like, I hate being there. I hated being there. It was just, it's a lot, and it's a wake-up call. I can say that. But one thing I can say is that you can come out of the dark place if you really have the desire and the willingness to get out of it. You have to really want to get out of that dark place, and you have to put in the effort, and you have to do the work, depending on how deep you are. But either way, you have to put in the work, okay? You also have to first recognize what is happening, because sometimes we tend to get in that dark place and then we spiral down and go deeper and deeper and deeper, and that's when the depression and the real self-doubt starts to kick in, and then sometimes it's harder to get out. You don't even realize how far you fell, and that shit is crazy. I can say that. I recently had a conversation with someone, and they were telling me, as we were talking, they were telling me how they were feeling depressed. And I was just like, well, why are you feeling depressed? And they told me that she was telling me how she's an athlete, and, most of her life, like, she's been an athlete, and she recently injured herself. And because of the injury, she had to take a break, and she couldn't be an athlete anymore. Of course, if you have to take a break, you can't be active. And she felt she felt herself just not feeling good, because it was just like, what am I supposed to do? Like, how, like, I'm an athlete. Like, how can I not be an athlete, And she just didn't know herself outside of that. And she found herself feeling not happy, And I found myself in a similar situation a few years back when I lost my job, where, I work a 9 to 5, and that's my foundation. I have children. So, but outside of that, I have hobbies, I have goals, I have things that I do that fulfill me and make me happy. But my foundation was my 9 to 5, and I got laid off. And I didn't know, like, I was a workaholic, I'm still a workaholic in a sense, but I know how to take time to myself now. But back then, all I knew how to do was work. All I knew how to do was just hustle. And like, any little bit of free time that I had, I was filling it up with something. I didn't know how to relax. I didn't know how to rest. Even my grandmother, my mother, like, they used to always tell me, like, you need to slow down. No, I don't need to slow down, because I need to do stuff. But, like, I'm trying to get somewhere. And I can admit that I got caught up in trying to get somewhere, and I kind of lacked in other places in my life. But I filled it up with that goal. Like, I created my identity around being a workaholic, around these goals and my aspirations, and just working, and I even got to the point where if I had more than 2 hours of sleep, I was like exhausted. What kind of shit is that? Like, I was exhausted if I had more than 2 hours of sleep because I was just constantly working. And you know, my body suffered. My body definitely suffered. Sometimes it broke down and it was just like, no, you gotta chill. But I still felt like I had to go. Like I just kept going, just kept going, just kept going. So this layoff came unexpectedly, and I found myself not knowing what to do. And I didn't know who I was outside of my activities. So it was just like I built this foundation off of working all the time. My 9 to 5, my goals, my activities, whatever it is that I was doing, that was my foundation. That's how I built it. And I was a mom. So like that's how I built it. I had my foundation and I had my stability there. And it was like, all right, I'm interning, I'm going to school, I'm a mom, I got my 9 to 5. Boom. 9 to 5 gone. And I'm like, what the fuck? But it was like that unexpected turn of events cracked my foundation, and the cracks spread it through other aspects of my life. And it was just a spiral down. Like everything just started falling apart, and I didn't know how to put the pieces back together. I didn't understand. Like I was doubting like crazy, and it was like I'm applying for positions at this point because I needed to work. So I'm applying for this job, I'm applying for this job, I'm applying for this job, and I know I'm super qualified for these jobs. Like I know I got it down pat. Oh, I know how to do this. I know how to do this. I can do this real quick. You know, I got that pays enough money, that pays good money. I'll be good. My kids will be good. Everything will be good. But I'm not getting the positions. And I'm not understanding why. Like I'm trying, getting knocked down. Trying, getting knocked down. Trying, getting knocked down. I need more money. I need this. I need that. I need to support my little one. I need to do this. Like, what am I going to do? How am I going to survive like this? I'm a hustler, yeah. I get this here, I get that there. Like I get money here, I get money there, but that's not steady. I need something steady. And it seems the more I tried, the more I was faced with resistance. And I didn't understand. Like I just didn't understand. Like to me, it was just like you have people out here who aren't even trying and they're surviving. And I'm over here busting my ass. Like I'm really trying to be a better person. I'm really trying to be a better me. And it's just not hitting. It's not clicking. And this was an experience. Like I'm just thinking about it now. Like this was an experience for me. But when I look back at that experience, I realized how great of an experience it was because it was a wake-up call. It made me focus on other aspects in my life and other things. Like this door closed, but this door was still open. Like you got to focus on this thing. Or you got to pay attention. This is lacking. You got to pay attention to this. Georgie, this is lacking. You got to pay attention to this. Like you have to build yourself. And what I came to learn and what I realized is we tend to create our identities for ourselves outside of ourselves. And we seek acceptance because that's really what it was. Like my identity was outside of myself. So it was like, this is what you're known for. Oh, she's known for this. She's known for that. Even the same with the girl. Like, oh, she's known for being this. And we seek outside acceptance and approval and lose sight of who we are internally. And sometimes we fail to discover who we really are because we put the mask on before we discovered who we really were. Like, this is my identity. Like, this is what I'm known for, so this is what I'm going to click to. So let me put this mask on real quick. So it don't even matter all that other stuff because this is hitting, this is working. And I'm sorry, I do this a lot, but that's what that dark place is, you know. It's that reminder of all the things that we ignore and sweep under the rug, you know. The things we forgot about and we throw in the closet, or repress in the back of our minds, like those childhood traumas, those insecurities, those things, like we hide them. And when we get in that dark place, they come back up because we don't feel worthy of ourselves. We don't know who we are. So now we feel like, oh my God, do they see this? Do they see that? Do they see this? But damn, like, that dark place is hurtful. It's hurtful. It's insecure. It's angry. It's resentful. It's reflective. It's deflective. It's abusive. It's selfish. It's passive aggressive. It's greedy. It's addictive. It's obsessive. It's narcissistic. I could go on and on. Like, I could keep going. Like, like I could keep going. But here's the catch. It's necessary. It's very necessary. And it's necessary because it breaks you down. It makes you think about things that you need to think about. And sometimes you get so low and you feel so broken, but you don't realize that when you're broken, you can't be broke. So if you can't be broke, then you can not worry about being broken again. I know that sounds crazy, but it makes sense. But, and I kind of received a message like that because I watch a lot of inspirational things on YouTube that helps me a lot. So, I watch Sarah Jakes Roberts. She's freaking amazing. So, if you ever feeling down and you need a lift, especially religiously or she's amazing. I love her. Okay, so I recommend her. Like, I watch her sermons on YouTube, everything. I mean, aside from talking to myself, and I write a lot as well, so pay attention to me too. But yeah, I was having a conversation with my sister about this too, and it was just like, I was asking her, because she was in a dark place as well, and I was just asking her, like, what was the hardest part of, like, trying to get out of your dark place? Like, what did you feel? Like, what was so difficult for you? And we're talking, and she said that her hardest part was accepting the fact that she wasn't who she used to be, and she had to come to terms with who she is now and the life that she lives now, or what she's going through now. Because my sister, she worked in corporate America. She had a 9-to-5 and everything, and she was free, kid free, and she went from that to a wife and a full-time mom, and she has 2 children now, and she works from home, and she, like, they're attached to her children. They're attached to her hip. So she finds herself, like, not having time, trying to figure out her me time. Or that's another story too. Like, we'll get to that in another episode about, parenting and everything. But, it's very difficult for her, and it was very difficult for her. She's getting out of it now. Like, she finding her mojo. Shout out to you, Candace. But yeah, it was hard for her because the kiddies are always tugging at her. And when she said that about, like, going, like, accepting who she is now, that made so much sense to me, because a lot of the time, in that dark place, like, the master forced off. Like, the master forced off, and we have to come to terms and face our other self, our not so good self, the things that we mask, like I said. And you have to deal with the real you. And that identity that you put out there is being stripped away from you, you know, and you're forced to make a choice. Like, do I want to stay in this dark place, or do I want to be better? And I think that in between making that choice, like in between that choice, is where we struggle. Like that, where we feel stuck, because it's like, which way do I go? Like, you're at the fork in the road. Like, which way do I go? Do I want to stay here? Do I want to be better? You know, or like, I want to go back to the old way. I want to go back to the old me, but this new me is calling, and in between that is chaos, because it's like I have to dead the old me, and I have to accept where I am right now. And I gotta do something, you know. I have to do something, and you have to ask yourself difficult questions, and you have to be ready and accept the answers to these difficult questions. You know, see, as I look back, so when I was in that dark place, I wasn't really afraid of change. You know, I love change. You know, I was more afraid of the unknown. You know, I was a person who had plan A, plan B, plan C, plan D. If this don't happen, that's gonna happen. If that don't happen, that's gonna happen. Like, that was me, you know. And if this don't work, boom, I got this. If this don't work, boom, I got that. I needed control. Like, I had this. Like, I needed control. I always controlled my life. I always, you know, I controlled everything in my life. That's how I felt. In my head, I controlled everything in my life. Like, nobody else could control anything. I had the control. And then here comes God, like, move to the side, sis. Like, hell no. You ain't got this. I got this. You don't control this. I control this. And I was like, what? Nah, you don't control this. I control this. And because I was trying to control everything and trying to fight through, I got so low. Like, so low. It's like the more I fought, the more I was met with resistance. And I got so low to the point where I was just like, you know what? I give up. I'm tired. I don't got no more fight in me. I can't do this anymore. Like, I keep trying and trying. I give up. I give up, God. You got this. Like, I give up. But in that moment is where you have to have faith that everything is going to work out. And you have to know in your head and really believe that everything will work out, because nothing happens to you. It happens for you. See, me, I'm optimistic. You know, I mean, I get into low moments, but I'm optimistic in everything. I feel like even in our hardest times, it's for the betterment of us. I feel like it's to get better. So anytime something bad happens, even though the moment may be very, very difficult, I always believe that it's for a better and a greater purpose, you know. And I completely gave up. I completely gave up. And I like, literally, just nonchalantly, like, you know what? Whatever is going to happen is going to happen, because I don't have any more fight in me. And God was just like, roll with it. Flow with it. Like, I had to go through the motions, and the motions are hard. You know, I had to face reality. Like, I had to face some facts. I had to accept the low point that I was in. And it was very hard to accept. But at that point, it was like, fuck it. Because I can't do nothing else at this point. Like, I literally could not do anything. I've never experienced anything like that in my life. But it was necessary. And at this point, I'm like, okay, I know I don't want to be here. And I've been through a bunch of experiences that I don't want. Why? Because of X, Y, and Z. Okay, now that I know X, Y, and Z, where did X, Y, and Z come from? Okay, boom. And that answer comes, okay, harsh reality of experiences. Harsh reality of experiences you gotta accept. That came with tears. That came with a bunch of feelings that I never felt before, or I might have felt before, but just a bunch of hurt, a bunch of pain, a bunch of crying, a bunch of purging. Like, oh my God, like I have to face this. This is what's really happening. This is what happened. Okay, boom, done crying. Now what are you gonna do about it? What are you gonna do about it? Okay, boom. Figured out something. Okay, cool. Now that I know what I do want, or should I say, now that I know what I don't want, now what do I want? Okay, I know what I want now. How do I obtain it? You gotta accept where you are, Danielle. Fuck. Now I gotta accept where I am. Another harsh reality. So hard. So hard. And through all of these difficult moments, it's like you gotta do something. You can't just sit here and feel sorry for yourself. No, yeah, shit happens. Okay, we got through that. We figured out we got answers to our questions now, Danielle. Now you gotta do something. Cool. You gotta let go. The hardest shit. You gotta let go. Even though I surrendered, but when you actually sit down and ask these questions, it's like you got to let go. Let go of the past. Let go of things that no longer serve you. You gotta understand. You gotta come to terms with it. You're not who you used to be. You gotta come to terms with it. Who are you now? Who are you on the inside? Okay, you aren't your circumstances. Don't make this about your circumstances. You aren't your circumstances. When you're ready to move, when things are ready to start flowing, you gotta trust in divine timing. When things are supposed to flow, they will flow. Cool. You gotta take action. You gotta stop doubting yourself. You gotta know that everything is gonna work for the betterment of you. You got to talk to yourself like this. You have to. You have to build yourself up. You have to perk yourself up. You gotta tell yourself. You gotta motivate yourself. You gotta create this drive because you have to take action. You have to. You have to take action. And if you don't take action, you're going to be stuck and you're going to keep spiraling down. Keep spiraling down. You got to learn from this. You got to see what you gain from this. You got to see you are becoming and how strong you are becoming because you were in that dark place. And you don't want to be in that dark place anymore. So you got to figure out how to come out of that dark place. Sorry. So, if this theme sounds like something that you've been through or something that you've recognized, and you haven't quite found your light, know that you will. Know that things happen in moments and that everything is going to be okay, and it's for you to be better. It's for you to find your true self and to find your identity inside, from the inside. Not through outside things, not through material gain, but from the inside. You have to have a deep desire to find it, though. A deep desire. You gotta want to get out of that dark place. And you have to be willing to give up what you used to be to become who you want to be. You have to be willing to be able to let go of control and attachment to what was. And you have to ask yourself some really, really hard questions. You know what those questions are because you have to go from point A to point B, to point C, to point D. When you ask yourself one question, what is this? Once you find the answer, you ask yourself about that answer, and then you ask yourself about that answer, then you ask yourself about that answer. That's how you get to what it is that you need to learn from this experience, because you aren't your circumstances. You aren't. You aren't your circumstances. And I'm going to stress that. I'll probably stress that in a lot of topics. And to love yourself. You have to accept those answers too. You definitely have to accept those answers, and you have to face that dark place in that dark place. That's the only way you're going to come out. You got to be the light, you know? And you got to face it with courage. You got to sit with it, observe it, learn from it, so that you know how to overcome it. You have to be brave. You have to. Don't run. Don't try to escape or distract yourself. You have to face it. And the only way is through. So, the more you accept, the more you adjust, the more you understand and recognize that the journey is hard, but it's worth it, the more beautiful you'll become. And the more beautiful the journey will become, even if it is difficult. Because who you become is beautiful. So you can look back and say, I did that. I got out of that. I overcame that. Who gonna check me? Because I feel super strong. You know, I feel way more confident now. You know, I've been in a dark place more than once. And like I said, it was very difficult. But I got out of it. And I'm smiling today, you know. So I know that if I could do it, you definitely can do it, you know. Some days will definitely be harder than others. But that doesn't mean that you stop. You know. You got to feel those feelings. You got to ask yourself questions about those feelings and why you feel the way you feel. You know, that is the key. When you feeling a way, if you're feeling sad, if you're feeling triggered, if you're feeling triggered by something, you have to ask yourself why. Why do I feel this way? And just know that it will pass, because you are not your circumstances, and it is necessary. You hit these bumps or you fall into this dark place because something needs to change. You need to change. Old behaviors need to change. Addictions need to change. Insecurities need to change. They're getting in the way of your success. That depression is getting in the way of your success. And I know it's difficult. I know. It's okay to cry. It's okay to have your feelings hurt. It's okay to be hurt. Accept it. But don't live there, because you don't live there. Don't resist. Don't force. Just flow. And use that darkness and that dark place to your advantage to become a better person. Turn that dark into light. Okay? So I'll just let you know that I'm rooting for you. Please love yourself. Okay? You got this. All right? I can't stress that more. You got this. And I'm in there, you know. If you would like me to talk about anything, if you would like me to, or if you want to talk, or if you feel like maybe you want to give your opinion on this, you can leave a comment, or you can email me at theyougotThisProject@gmail.com. Like I said, I'm doing this my way. It's a learning experience for me, because I have a hard time expressing my thoughts by talking. I'm a writer. So, you know, thank you for tuning in. And I'm truly grateful that you guys are watching this. So, thank you. Sincerely, your favorite. Bye.